This is what we're shooting for. Board and batten siding made from lumber from our own sawmill. And this is going on a brand new wood shop that I'm building. All of the lumber has been cut on our Woodland Mills HM126 sawmill. In the previous video, I milled the logs, getting 1x12s out of the logs for the boards of the board and batten, and then later started hanging the boards. First thing I'm going to do today is frame out the window. Before I put the battens up, I wanted to make sure these windows are framed out, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. Marking the board right now, and then I'm going to cut it. Meet Gerald the rooster. It seems like every time I start building something or working on something, he is outside yelling for me to stop what I'm doing and go feed him. Sometimes I seem to go in circles. Before I do this window trim, I decided I needed to put this top trim board up above so I'll know how high I need to go with the trim. Now that board's up, so I can focus back on figuring out what I'm going to do with this trim around the window. Well, it was getting about time for me to wrap it up for the day. Sun's about to go down, and I just wanted to just kind of take a little time and stare at what I've got done. So the next day I started out with the window trim, and this time it didn't take quite as long as it did on the other one. I think the other one took me a pretty long time to kind of figure out what I was doing, but I had a little more of an idea of what I was doing on this trim, so it didn't take quite as long. Once the windows are trimmed, I put a piece of 1x4 on the bottom part. Now the trim around the doorway, I'll wait to get it. I wanted to go ahead and get this so I could get the battens up. I made this little jig so I could mark where I wanted the screws. I've decided to put screws in the middle of the boards so it would allow them to shrink and hopefully it wouldn't crack. Now, originally I was going to put nails in because they're a lot cheaper, but I had enough screws on hand, so I decided that I'll just go for it, put screws in here. Now it's finally time to get to the battens. Now for the battens, I decided to just buy these 1x3s at the local box store. It was the perfect size for what I was looking for, and it saved a whole lot of time instead of cutting these little boards on the sawmill. I have to say I was actually getting a little bit excited because after putting these boards up, it should take shape and actually look like I'm getting close to finishing this wall. I decided to start the battens in the middle. That way, once I get the spacing in, if I had to make a little adjustment on the spacing, I could probably get by with not having to go down the whole wall with that spacing. So, I don't know, maybe I could hide some spacing errors a little bit easier if I start in the middle. Once I got my spacing, I decided to make a little template, cut a template out, and that way I can get the spacing just right for the rest of the boards. Finally, this side is really coming together. It's been a long trip to get here because it takes a lot of time to cut these boards, cut them just right, and then putting them up. So if you're looking for an easy way, board and batten on a sawmill is probably not the quickest way, but it is a more rewarding way, if that makes any sense. And by the way, if you like this video, enjoy it, and want to see more of the progress that I make with this wood shop and other projects around, why don't you hit the like button, also subscribe to the channel, and get notifications when new videos come out. In the future, I hope to make a lot more videos of different projects. One of the projects, when this one gets finished, is this really nice chicken pen, and also looking at maybe building an off-grid cabin back on the property. As I put this last board up, I'm getting closer to finishing this wall. Most of it's finished. Of course, I still have the soffits to do on this wall, and also the board and batten on the other walls around the shop. I think this turned out pretty good for board and batten siding made from a sawmill. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll leave a link to parts 1 and 2 videos in the description below. By the way, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.